This week on Fan Sharp Focus, we are focused on the Tennessee Volunteers. Zach Zook joins us here on Fan Sharp. Zach, let's talk about these Volunteers as a little bit of a tough week last week, losing to Georgia after a 2-0 start. What did you see from the Vols? They had a pretty tough second half, but just couldn't get back on the right foot there.
Yeah, the Tennessee Volunteers completely fell apart in the second half, and they need to be able to put 4 quarters together, and that's the only way to win week in and week out in the SEC. But one thing I noticed in that Georgia game was they weren't able to protect the passer, one. Garantano was sacked 5 times, and they were not able to run the ball effectively at all. They actually finished with -1 rushing yards on the day. Now, college football is a little different. The quarterback rushed for -40 yards because the sack yardage factors into it. But the averages for the backs, were not good. Chandler averaged 1.5 yards per carry. Hyatt averaged 3 yards per carry. The Tennessee Volunteers, if they want to hold on to these leads in which they were leading at halftime, they have to be able to run the football better. They have to be able to establish that as a threat in their offense.
Tennessee takes on Kentucky coming up this week, hoping to get back on the right foot. And Kentucky, though, is a team 1-2 going into this game, but did have a big win against Mississippi State, actually beating them and only allowing 2 points on their defensive side of the ball. So where do you see the Volunteers matching up against the Wildcats, and do you think they could hopefully get back on their winning ways?
Well, I think the name of the game for both of these teams is pass protection. The Tennessee Volunteers, as I mentioned, were atrocious a week ago. They have to be better in the trenches this weekend against a Kentucky team that always boasts a pretty good front seven. Now, the keys to beating Kentucky, I think, lies with pressuring Terry Wilson. Terry Wilson so far as the quarterback for the Wildcats this season, when he's not under pressure, he completes 68% of his passes, has thrown for over 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks, almost 7 yards per attempt. When he's faced with pressure, though, Terry Wilson has only completed 37% of his passes for just 50 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, and that yards per attempt drops all the way down to 3.3. So that is absolutely the name of the game for the Volunteers this weekend. They need to be able to protect their own, and they need to be able to get after Terry Wilson on the other side of the football.
Vols take on the Wildcats coming up on Saturday at 11 a.m. That one will be on SEC Network. Zook, thanks so much, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, TJ.
And don't forget, if you'd like to bet legally in Indiana, Illinois, or Iowa, be sure to check out fansharp.com and look for your deposit bonus with promo code FORT. Fansharp. Root like a fan. Bet like a sharp.